Tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock is ticking on Diddy because on Friday he finds out what his sentence is going to be. But today he found out what prosecutors would like that sentence to be, and it is vastly different from what his attorneys have suggested to the judge. Prosecutors want him to do 11 years, just over 11 years.
The Combs family didn't retreat after their father's prison sentence. They monetized it. What should have been a period of silence has instead become episodic content, with a glossy documentary that feels less like reflection and more like damage control dressed up as redemption. Industry watchers expected the Sons to lay low, let court records fade into hip-hop mythology. Instead, they press record. According to insiders at Zeus Network, this series was never just about telling their side. It's a strategic attempt to reshape the narrative while the legal ink is still drying. The timing is no accident. With an appeal pending, the story is being reframed in real time, either to soften the fall
his
or
father.
prepare the ground.
That footage ended up going to 50 Cent and his production company, and it's kind of the centerpiece.
Sold to them.
Yes, was the centerpiece of the documentary. So watch this particular scene because this is where a lot of people feel Diddy really screwed over someone that he should be very, very thankful for.
Bound for a comeback. But the rollout hits a serious snag. Justin Combs is now named a filing at Los Angeles Superior Court tied to a 2017 incident. The complaint alleges that a woman was enticed to a Beverly Hills property under the guise of a job opportunity, only to be restrained and assaulted by multiple masked individuals. One of those attackers, she claims, resembled his father. That context makes the documentary feel less like a family healing journey and more like a preemptive rewrite. One that collides head-on with unresolved accusations still moving through the courts. Christian Combs quietly erased a public threat aimed at 50 Cent just hours after Netflix's expose rocketed to the top of the charts. The timing wasn't subtle. The series, built around footage capturing the days before Sean Combs' arrest, shows a man spiraling while the walls close in, footage his own team allegedly commissioned, then denounced as stolen the moment it escaped their control. Now, the Sons are promising the truth, but their court filings in the calendar suggest something else entirely. This isn't a story where the apple merely landed close to the tree. It decayed the same way. Here's the question almost no one is asking yet. If this project is really about justice, why schedule its release in the same year their father's final appeal could collapse? Because the raw material, the kind that never makes it past legal review or network polish, is still out there, and it's already been weaponized once. When the trailer for the Combs Brothers documentary went live, the response wasn't outrage or disbelief. It was recognition, a collective sense that this wasn't a recovery effort. It was a last, desperate performance by a family that had already lost control of the narrative. Zeus Network's official position is predictable. The series exists to give Justin and Christian Combs space to tell their side, to soften their father's image as he serves a 50-month sentence in a federal facility in New Jersey. But the precision of the rollout, the cinematic framing, and the total absence of comment from their legal representatives make that explanation hard to swallow. The project was announced in late December 2025, just weeks after 50 Cent's Netflix series Sean Combs. The Reckoning pulled in an estimated 22 million views in under a week. That documentary didn't just revisit allegations. It introduced unseen footage of Combs in a New York hotel room, visibly unraveling as advisors warned him that the endgame had begun. What's crucial is where that footage came from. Not a whistleblower, not an undercover source.
Television.
Absolutely. My name is BigHomie.cc, former celebrity bodyguard, 16 years. I converted my business to protecting women and children, combating human trafficking. Last year, we brought on 17 missing women, 4 children, 3 girls, 1 boy. So
it was lifted from Combs' own archive, material he'd authorized, recorded, and stored himself, as if he'd been chronicling his downfall, without realizing the camera might one day change hands. Now, his sons appear to be stepping into the same snare, pledging transparency, while their own legal shadows stretch across every frame. This is where the narrative starts to warp. The trailer shows Justin and Christian seated in a screening room, watching clips from their father's trial. Their expressions aren't just offensive. There's something heavier there, A quiet acceptance that reads less like confidence and more like inevitability. Behind the scenes, whispers suggest the documentary wasn't entirely their call. Sources say the pressure came from above, possibly even from Sean Combs himself, directing strategy from behind bars. If that's true, then this isn't misfortune. It's a calculated risk. The series is slated for 2026. The same year Sean Combs' appeal could either unravel his conviction or seal it permanently. If the appeal fails, this won't play as redemption. It will stand as a televised farewell. And if it succeeds, the question becomes even stranger. What kind of man walks free only to discover his son spent a year before his release reopening every wound on camera for the world to study? The real issue isn't the documentary itself. It's the silence wrapped around it. Justin Combs, the elder of the two brothers positioned as narrators of the so-called truth, is currently named in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. The complaint centers on a 2017 incident in which a woman alleges she was invited to a Beverly Hills estate under the promise of employment, only to find herself trapped in circumstances she says she could not leave. The filing is unflinching. It describes claims of confinement, forced intoxication, and sexual assault by multiple men, one of whom the woman says she identified as Sean Combs. The lawsuit doesn't frame Justin as a bystander. It depicts him as a facilitator, an organizer in a pattern that eerily mirrors the most disturbing accusations leveled against his father. And yet, the documentary trailer offers no hint of this legal firestorm, no disclaimer, no acknowledgement, no suggestion that the sons telling this story might themselves be entangled in allegations that rival or even exceed the gravity of their fathers. Instead, the trailer closes with a single chilling beat, a recorded prison call, a collect call from Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution. Sean Combs' voice slices through the final seconds, not as comfort, but as presence, less reassurance than reminder.
Might still have.
Everybody will be at his parties, everybody. And like the first part of the party is normal. It's like going down on Woodville. It's normal. But the second part, when they come out collecting the cell phones, and one of the security guys, you sign right here.
The real question isn't whether he's involved. It's whether he's still directing the play. Christian Combs, meanwhile, isn't standing on clean ground either. In April 2024, a separate lawsuit was filed accusing him of assault during a yacht outing chartered by his father in December 2022. The woman alleges unwanted physical contact, coercive advances, and retaliation after she refused him, including losing her job. The case remains unresolved, but the accusations alone cast a long shadow over Christian's public posture. That context reframes is now deleted social media.
They never would have prosecuted him if it was just a manic.
They prosecuted him on all these other things, and they did find him guilty of this, so that still counts.
The jurors don't always get it right. We don't have to agree with their decision.
I just don't know because I wasn't sitting in the courtroom. You got to see the witnesses. Why didn't they believe Cassie? Why didn't they believe Jane?
Media threat toward 50 Cent. After the Netflix series premiered, Christian posted a message declaring he'd slap 50 if he ever crossed paths with him. The post vanished within the hour, but not before 50 Cent responded with calculated dismantling, mocking Christian's dependence on inherited relevance and reminding him who actually controls power, money, and legacy. It wasn't just an online spat. It was a hierarchy check, and Christian failed it instantly. With legal pressure mounting, his father incarcerated, and public goodwill evaporating, the threat reads less like loyalty and more like panic, the reaction of someone watching the walls narrow. Then there's the footage, the real nerve center of 50 Cent's Netflix series. The documentary hinges on video capturing the days before Sean Combs' arrest. Material his camp insists was taken without authorization from an unfinished project. But that defense collapses under scrutiny. Combs has documented his life obsessively for decades. Meetings, rehearsals, negotiations, downtime, everything archived. He behaved like a man who believed control of the camera meant control of the story. This time it didn't. What surfaced wasn't some obscure leak. It was content pulled from within his own ecosystem. Official explanations point to a temporary worker accessing the files while a documentarian, Michael Oberle, was out of town. But people familiar with the situation call that version convenient. Too neat to be true. They suggest the handoff came from someone far closer, Someone who understood exactly what the footage contained and exactly who would know how to weaponize it. If that's accurate, then the real danger isn't what's already been released. It's what hasn't, because whoever passed that footage along once may still be holding more. And this time, the family doesn't get to decide when the next chapter drops. The trailer for the Combs Brothers documentary closes on a prison phone call. Sean Combs' voice breaks through the quiet. Sharp, deliberate, unmistakable. It's meant to signal relevance, control, proof that even from a cell, he still looms over the story. But there's an uneasier interpretation no one's rushing to voice. If this project